Yeah, yo, sometimes you gotta go to war for what you believe in. Sometimes you gotta go to war for what it is that you want, what you see that's right. I'm about to go to war, but lyrically. War cry, baby. Yeah. Hey yo, war cries echoes in the background. That's the sound of soldiers getting ripped up and tore down. Lyrically dismantle metaphors and manhandle. Marauder with Yo, back like we never left in Post My Will podcast. I am your host, Ramone. With me, my other host, Joe. What's going on with you, man?
Man, we here back for another one, bro.
Absolutely, right back at you. So, in this next segment, we'll like to talk about another hot, very smoking hot fight that's getting ready to come up. We just saw I think it was a press conference. What was that, last weekend or something like that? We got Gervonta, Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach. He's a junior, right? If I'm not mistaken, Lamont.
Yeah,
Roach.
I
Yeah,
believe so.
Lamont Roach Jr. So I really enjoyed the press conference.
Oh yeah.
It was tame, but it started to bubble at the end. We got
Mm-hmm.
that DC Baltimore rivalry that's getting ready to go on. You know
Yep.
what I'm saying? Which is going to be dope. It's in DC, so it's really going to be dope.
New York, Barclays Center.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm supposed to be going. You know what I'm saying? Trying to go Barclays March 1st in
Mm-hmm.
my state. You know what I'm saying? My bad. Sorry
Brooklyn.
about that. Brooklyn. So, looking forward to this one, man. I'm looking forward to it for a few
Yeah.
reasons. There's some history there. They know each other. They've been around each other.
Mm-hmm.
They've experienced each other. Pause in the ring. So it's a lot of intricacies that is going to play into this fight, man. What's your thoughts,
Most
Joe?
definitely. First of all, first, I must say that I disagree with a lot of people saying that this is a trash fight for Tank.
Absolutely.
Um, like you said, they have history in this fight.
Mm.
When you go into Roach record now, for people who don't know the history and actually the fight that they had in the amateurs is actually circulating on YouTube or
Yeah.
whatever, which was actually a great fight. But these guys are familiar with each other. It's almost like high school rivals.
Yeah.
He's from other side of town or whatever.
Right.
But the one thing that I think reason why people comment the way they comment is because they're not familiar with Roach at all.
Right. Right.
They probably saw what his last fight against Hector. I forget his name, but it was the dude that Tank fought and beat,
Right.
and that's probably the only fight that they saw of him,
Probably.
and
They're not
probably heard
familiar.
about him losing to
Yeah.
Jamel Herring or
Yep.
whatever.
Yep. Jamel Herring.
But
Yep.
outside of that, Lamont Roach is 25-1
Hmm.
with one draw.
Hmm.
He got 10 knockouts
Hmm.
or whatever. He has a 68 reach, which is a half an inch longer than Tank Paul's, and but he's ranked fourth in the United States, 15th in the world, or
Right.
whatever.
Hmm.
He's a solid fighter.
Yeah, for sure. For
Solid
sure.
fighter. He got power. And then on top of that, he has never been knocked out either.
Nope.
So he could take a punch.
Hmm.
And like I said, if you give him the opportunity, he's going to hurt you. And he
Yeah.
has the crazy to match Tank's crazy or
Absolutely.
whatever. And that's what you need when the fight in the ring. Now, when
Yeah.
it comes to the experience, that's a whole nother ball game or whatever. And you can't dog him for that because Tank is going to outexperience most fighters that he fights or
Hmm.
whatever in that division, in that weight class.
Hmm.
So, that's what it is. But this is a hell of a fight that y'all
Yeah.
all want to tune into.
It's gonna be a
That's where
great
I'm
fight.
at with it.
No doubt. No doubt. I was gonna comment on a fight, but I'm gonna park that real quick. I want to know your thoughts on Tank recently, not recently because he's been saying it forever, but his most recent
Mhm.
interview about retiring. First and foremost, do you believe that he really is going to retire? And what's your feeling on that? How do you feel about that?
Do I think he really going to retire? I think he may step away.
Right.
I don't see him really dipping off. but I think a lot of people, saying, they bring up the hype between like him and Floyd, but the one thing about it, Tank kind of mimics a lot of Floyd's decisions in his past.
Okay.
Floyd took a break from boxing. I think Tank is going to end up taking a break from boxing too. He had a little mild joint when he had to do that little time or
Right.
whatever.
Right.
But we all know that he made some changes in his life, doing with spirituality and getting into the Muslim faith. You know what I mean? And salute the man to that. You know what I mean? He's trying to be a better man for his two daughters or
Right.
whatever. So, if you need to take a time away, take a time away. But that's what he knows. At the end of the day, Tank is a boxer
Yep.
or whatever. He's not going to stay, and he's made a lot of money from it or whatever. I don't see that man staying gone too long from boxing. I give that man a year and a half break,
Right.
maybe two at the longest, and you're going to see him back in the ring again.
I can see that. I can see that. I can see him taking a break. That actually kind of makes more sense to me,
Mm-hmm.
because within that time frame, you get to spend a lot of time with yourself and
Yeah.
figure out yourself. He's been boxing. He's been always boxing and always pretty much just his life is just filled with boxing from a small child, right? It's always been on
Mm-hmm.
his mind. It's always been his objective and his goal. And probably never had the time to even just sit with his own thoughts for a long period of time and really just kind of figure out like who am I and where am I really going? Because boxing ain't gonna
Right.
last forever, right? When I first heard it, I was like, nah, you're not retiring. Come on, and everybody else. I see most boxing pundits, coaches, so on and so forth. People like, nah, I don't
Mm-hmm.
really believe it. Nah, I don't really believe it, right? And I think a lot of us don't really believe it or want to believe it is because even though he's done a lot in the sport, he would leave a lot on the table, right?
A lot on the table.
He would leave a lot on the table. He's young. To me, you know, not even fully in his prime yet, to be honest with you, which is
Mm.
scary.
Right.
Yeah, the fights that the fan, and that's another thing. That's the big thing. The fights that the fans ask for. If you leave the sport before giving us at least a couple of them joints,
Mm-hmm.
you know, in my opinion, it doesn't look that great for, your legacy. But here's the bigger point. In his interview when he was discussing it, he made a couple of points that made me kind of think and look at things a little differently. And it sounds like he has, I wouldn't say made peace, but he definitely knows that he had a trauma filled life
Mm-hmm.
and he's trying to make changes. And he brought up the fact that he wants to go to counseling, and essentially become a better man for his daughters. He got two daughters, for his children.
Right. Mm-hmm.
He also made the point that by going to counseling and getting and learning and understand how to heal, that may affect his performance in the ring, right? It'll dampen that fire, right? It'll take some of that aggression away, right? These are all the things you need to be, from that most people would say you need to be a great fighter, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's saying like, yo, if I go do that, if I go heal, it's gonna affect me in the ring because I won't be that same animal that I would be. I
Mm.
disagree, but I understand what he's saying, and I give you
It
an
may do
example.
one or two. Yeah, go ahead with that. It may do one or two things with him. You're right.
Right, right, and I'll give you an example. The example I think of like Deontay Wilder with the ayahuasca thing he did, right?
Mm-hmm.
And how it talked about it brought him so much peace and tranquility and clarity and all this different stuff. And not saying that he was that great prior to it, you know what I'm saying? He was still on the decline, but I feel like that that played a bigger role in the further declining of, you know, that aggressiveness and everything that we've been hoping to see him get back to.
Hmm.
I think that might have dampened his fire. Now I seen a brother. Oh man, what's my brother name? He wrote the book, "Cry Like a Man." Got the Cave of Abdullam in Detroit. Next time we go to Detroit, we got to go visit him too, man. We got to do that. Yeah, I know who I'm talking about. I forget his name. It's on the tip of my tongue, but I forget his name. And
You said the book "Cry Like a Man."
yeah, book "Cry Like a
Go
Man."
ahead, I'm looking it up.
Yes, sir. So he made a wonderful point about counseling having the opposite effect. Counseling can teach you how to control the flame, but also use the flame. I'm paraphrasing, but use the flame and be that warrior that you want to
Mhm.
be, but having control over it. And that's the big thing, right? That's the
Right, right.
major thing. Having control over it versus, you just having this thing eat at you left and right and consuming your life and you know but having control over your emotions, your anger, and really taking your life back. So those are the couple of things that I took away from it, man. But yeah,
Yeah. By the way, it's Jason Wilson you was
Jason
referring
Wilson,
to,
that's right.
and
That's
I do agree with you. Like I said, it could help tame the beast,
yeah,
or it don't in substance like kill the beast, but you could kind of lose the beast
yeah,
um, by suppressing it. And but
yeah,
the difference between Tank and somebody like a Deontay Wilder, I
mm,
would say, is the skill
yeah,
boxing.
for sure.
Deontay also started a lot later,
Yeah,
to where Tank, that's Tank's identity. That's
yeah,
what all he knows. To be honest with you,
that's
you
right.
hear him talking about it.
Yeah,
And the thing about it, and I think Tank has been kind of like working on it. I think with him, and he's been kind of working on this path for a minute. With him going to, giving his life to Allah, joining a Muslim and everything, becoming a Muslim,
mhm,
he's been, most of the time he was a hothead in the
yeah,
press conference.
yeah.
Each press conference, he's been dialing back, ain't saying too much, just dialing
Absolutely,
back.
absolutely.
Then we seen it there. It was almost like, ooh, somebody wait, saying, so when dude said something, he's like, oh,
Yeah,
what you say? Like he
yeah,
popped up. You
yeah,
see him perk.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, that's who Tank is. He's not gonna lose that.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I agree.
and you can only, I would say, you might irritate a wild wolf after a while. It's just will he be able to refocus
Right,
later when he decide to come back? And
right.
at the end of the day, I don't think he's gonna like it. So if he goes through this phase and does decide to come back,
Yeah,
people need to watch out for him. But
mm,
at that point, Tank is only going to be his own worst enemy. Is he going to be stuck in his head
mm,
trying to beat that discipline,
mm.
or is he going to be able to control that monster and continue to cause havoc when he get inside that square ring?
Right. I dig it. Um, March 1st, Barclays. We might be in the building. Um, if we are, we would love to see you.
That'll
You
be
know what I'm
my
saying? That's
birthday
his birthday
trick.
week. That's his birthday trip. You know what I'm saying? So we might be in the building, man. We might have to make that happen,
Yeah,
and we'd love to reach out and get with y'all, man, and meet with y'all out in Brooklyn. Um, you know, so yeah, Pose My World
we got
podcast,
another one.
another one. Get with
Peace,
y'all,
y'all.
man. Peace.